Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Dota 2 Weekly. Joining me in order is Mick.
We going?
Mr. Tracer.
Swanky.
And Armin.
What's up?
There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and start off with the big news, I guess, with Fanatic and Era. You want to go ahead and grab that one for us, Tracer?
Okay, so right now, the biggest controversy for the International is that Fnatic has to play with an injured player, more or less. Era has been having issues with travel, making him like really sick when he travels, so he hasn't been participating in LAN games. And Valve is requiring him to play in the International instead of a substitute. And most people at the moment, and also Fnatic themselves, are kind of upset with this decision, especially since they were able to substitute EG when Fear was not able to play. And there was a whole email going back and forth, as to what was happening. And basically, Valve came out and said the reason why we chose this route, this path with Era is because he did say that he was all right to play, and with that, it is up to the player ultimately to determine whether he can play or not. And so they just insisted that it's the original 5 team people.
So he shot his own foot, is what you're saying.
No, just slightly, because I'm reading over Valve's statement now.
Mm-hmm.
The EG case, they said Fear, they were open about that before the official invites even went out.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, look, this is the case. We're looking at possibly using this guy Mason because Fear's potentially going to have this thing. But it says that was all before invites were sent out. And again, I can go either way on this one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those, if they don't draw a line in the sand somewhere, you have the potentially, not saying that this is Fnatic's case, because I don't want to downplay that, but you have the potential for, this is this instead of happening, this is that happening, and there's a whole lot of shenanigans that can happen as the time progresses. Someone threw out an idea, whether it was on Reddit or whatever it was, about that all teams, when they submit, should have one verified stand-in on their roster as they kind of go to the international thing, because it would pretty much get rid of this situation, saying, hey, this is our official guy. If something happens, this is the guy that we're going to go with, and that's it. Which is an interesting concept, because it would avoid situations like this, where if you do have a legitimate thing, and I do think Fnatic's claim is legitimate on this one, especially when it comes to a psychological disorder, because it's kind of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like, all right, well, I'm going to tough it out. Like, especially a kid that young, you could really screw up someone if it's that serious of a condition. So it would kind of avoid that if there were just that whole kind of verified stand-in. It's almost like having that sub ready on the bench. So you send people with 6 instead of 5. It'd just be just a possibility.
Well, see, that's the thing. I totally agree with that, too. I feel like, though, another thing is that most teams already have a stand-in, too, but they don't, they're not allowed for the internationals, I guess. It's your 5 and you use them.
Because those weren't the people that were invited. Valve in one of the emails mentioned that we invite the teams that are straight up invited are invited due to the gameplay over time with those 5 people. And if you change that out, sometimes they have to even change whether they're officially invited or if they have to get demoted to the qualifiers. And that's not even an option for them.
Well, speaking of, and kind of going into later, I feel like since EG added Mason, maybe they would have gotten invited quicker. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen some of this.
It's been, the EG's been really strong lately, but we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah. So, is there any other news about this other than the fact that he has to be there, or they're not going?
Yeah, I mean, the end result is he is going. They'll play with Era because they don't want to. Fnatic doesn't want to waste a year of training for this to not go. And yeah, that was Valve's decision. Is they had to have the original 5, and I mean, it mostly came down to Era's email to him asking whether they were allowed to even substitute him, even though he got the okay from his doctor and himself that he can play.
Well, 2 months with training with Excalibur, is a really big deal. So we're gonna see. This might impact Fnatic a lot more than.
Unfortunately, what I see happening is if they don't have a good showing, they might be into Era. Like, it could just be because it's an organization. It's not something. It's a company essentially, and if that's the way it kind of is, that might be the end of it. If Era, doesn't have a good showing and that's what it is, and shows he can't actually boot camp with the team, it's a business decision is what it comes down to.
Oh yeah, completely.
It sucks to look at it that way, but that could be the end. If they don't have a good showing on this, that could be the end.
Yeah. Well, that really sucks for them too.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on, we're going to go ahead and hop into the tournaments now. Let's start off with the D2L Western Challenge.
Oh my gosh, that is, well, do you want me to start at the beginning, or do you just want me to start raging about stuff? Because
let's start off
everything.
Start off at the beginning and let's go.
The playoffs, the starting roundups, matches were Cloud9 versus Rocks. EG had a bye. Empire had a bye. Navi's versus Fnatic. And then you had Navi, Cloud9 kind of down there at the first branch of the losers bracket. But you had Cloud9, Navi, Fnatic, Empire, EG, and Rockskiss would main battle it out. Mm-hmm. Making their way through the losers bracket because they got knocked out by Fnatic in the first round was Navi. They beat out Rockskiss, they beat out Empire, they beat out Fnatic and made their way through. Honestly, what surprised me the most out of this was Cloud9 just got wrecked. They just did not have a good showing. Went 2-1 against Rocks and then 2-0 against Empire. Up top, Rocks beat Cloud9, went up against EG. Empire went up against Fnatic. Fnatic won 2-0. EG won 2-0. Fnatic EG. EG again wins 2-0. So you've got Navi versus EG in the finals. And hey, guess what happens? Freaking
Navi
EG
wins.
sweeps 3-0.
Wow.
And it's like EG did not drop a game. That whole tournament.
And we're not talking about them going against like little teams. They're not going against some of these qualifier teams or even lower than that.
They 2-0'd Fnatic, they 2-0'd Rocks, they 3-0'd Navi. On anyone's best or worst day, you should be at least taking a game against someone. And there were some back and forth parts of the games, but EG just pulled it out every single time. It was ridiculous.
Which leaves me to the point that Mason kind of scares me. He's going to be a force to reckon with when we get into the...
Arteezy's also been really impressing me. That's another. I don't know. I can go against all, but yeah, Mason's been really, really, really strong, and it's been exciting.
Yeah, I can't believe how hard they've been. Like,
I hope everyone brings their A game because it's going to be interesting.
Well, we've talked about in the past how about how a lot of these teams aren't showing their A game because it's so close to the tournament, to the internationals. So I'm kind of wondering, but this is probably the best we have as far as close to every team from the internationals being in a tournament. So yeah, this is a good indicator.
Picks like the lately and just in the meta, like Panda coming back up and being there's a lot of heroes that are really exciting to watch like him that are making their way back into the meta for the internationals.
Mason did Panda on both game 1 and game 2.
He's playing now against IG. He's got Panda again. But it's been great to watch.
So, are we going to be talking about Panda splits like Mason now? Is that going to be a thing?
My question is, does anyone know what the Arteezy tagging himself as Allison is? Like, there has to be a joke somewhere that I've just completely and utterly missed, because that's every single game I've watched. It's E.G. Allison instead of Bartesi. And it was just
It's got to be an inside joke
some
somewhere.
joke going on, but it's consistent. It's like I don't know. But yeah, I mean that tourney it's if you haven't watched them, go to cinema something, check out the VODs because there's some very very good games across the board. It's not just EG's games. I mean, it was really good tournament to watch.
I believe most of them are actually at Gosu Dota as well, Gosu Gamers, or Beyond the Summit. So if you've missed any of those, like me, of course, me and my busy week, feel free to check those out over there.
Do you do all the tournaments on those?
No, at least Gosu does all of them. Beyond the Summit does the majority of them.
Dota Cinema has it set up. They have all of them, and they do like the spoiler-free one where you have like all the games. So I haven't checked out anyone else. I found this one and it worked. But yes, you don't know if there was 5 games. It shows all 5, and it's not until you start clicking through them. It says, "Hey, that one wasn't actually played." And you're like, "Okay, good."
Ta-da!
Threw me over. So.
Okay, so moving on, we're going to go ahead and hit the Dota 2 Champions League, which I actually got to watch a little bit of. So, what was it? I don't understand how they actually did this, as far as rounds go, because I didn't get to watch before the playoffs. However, I'll go ahead and go through these real quick. Navi and Roxkiss, Power Rangers and Relax were the first 2 in the bracket. Roxkiss beats Navi by 2, which is kind of weird. Power Rangers beats Relax by 2-1. Power Rangers goes up against EG in the bottom bracket. EG actually loses 2-1. So Power Rangers goes to bracket 3, facing Empire. Fnatic and Roxkiss play. Fnatic actually wins 2-0. Goes up against Alliance in the round 3 bracket. Fnatic beats Alliance 3-0. Empire beats Power Rangers 3-0, leaving Empire and Alliance, leaving Fnatic and Empire in the final bracket. So yeah, I think they just did the brackets weird. That's what happened.
They had 2 groups, Group A, Group B, and they split them up from there. There was a couple teams, Virtus Pro, Meet Your Makers, Next KZ, Dream Team. They didn't make it, so they had 4 teams that didn't actually make it into the brackets. But they just had
I see what they did now. I gotcha. Alright, so anyways, in the final game, Fnatic and Empire beats Fnatic 3-2, which, surprising enough. And then Alliance takes 3rd place from Power Rangers 3-1. So, yeah, congratulations to Empire. Empire's another one I think that's been doing really, really good lately.
Everyone's been stepping up their game. Like, as it comes closer, everyone is trying to show that they're still worthy, pretty much.
Well, everybody's trying to hide their strats and stuff like that, but I feel like every so often you see them kind of slip and actually do really well. Like, it just always seems like they do, like, have these really impressive games, and you can kind of tell people are hiding what they're actually doing just because of because of the internationals, it seems.
Something I want to throw at this one is Alliance was the top of their group, and so they come in. Since then, Fnatic's had a game, Roxkiss has had 2 games, Alliance is kind of sitting there. And then Fnatic comes and sweeps them 3-0, and Alliance, was the top of that group.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those 2 where I always wonder, like, when you have those bye games where people have to sit out and watch everything else that's happening,
Mm-hmm.
it's just for downtime. Like, it's one of those, you get momentum going, and it's not just like one game, set, 2 games set, but it's the game before and the game before that where you start building your momentum and getting your grooves going and all the gears start turning. Granted, these are professionals; they don't take as much time to warm up as you and I do in a pub game. But it's something where I wonder if when you get the steam going from a win, and then you get a big break, how does that, how much of that actually factors into something like that where they just get swept like that by Fnatic?
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of scares me the way that I've seen Alliance in a lot of games here lately where, going back, let's see here, Alliance, what did they have in the D2L? Wasn't it D2L that they were in? No, it's Navi I'm thinking of. But it seems like a lot of the
in the ESL One.
ESL One, but okay, we'll go on to that. But to prove my point, they just
No. Alliance was in Western. They didn't qualify. Neither did Liquid.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We're
Yeah,
the 6 or 7 and 8.
yeah. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. They're having such a poor showing here lately. It makes me wonder if they're hiding everything they're doing and they're just going for this, going for the internationals, or if there's like something going on there.
Yeah, they were 1 and 6 in league play.
Which is
That's very suspicious.
yeah, it just seems like where's Alliance at? I'm not sure if they just like lose on purpose to.
I mean, but in yours at the Dota 2 Champions League, they were 9 and 1 in their group stage, and then once Fnatic showed up, they just got swept. So I don't know. I mean, how do you go 9 and 1 joking around against the teams,
So you think that our last year's champions are just kind of what they've lost? They haven't gone and evolved like some of the other teams, or what?
I mean, like the group stages of that. I guess they were 4 and 1. Okay, I don't know how this works. 4 and 1. That would have been 4 and 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So they won 4 games, lost 1. So I mean, that's not a bad showing. It's just one, against Fnatic they got trounced. It wasn't they got trounced and everything else. It was just that one game they really got rocked. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just a bad day, for them. The HyperX, D2L. It's just, I don't know. There's a
Maybe
lot.
just a slip up. Who knows?
Oh, we'll go for that excuse. I'm hoping that Alliance and Na'Vi aren't the big showers in this one. EG is, of course. Alright, let's go on to Good Play Gaming, which is kind of a smaller tournament, but it does have some of the up-and-comers, and at least one of the bigger ones. Who had Good Play Gaming?
I have that one. Yeah, and Good Play Gaming, Arrow came out winning after, in the semifinals, he dropped to the losers bracket, and then from there they just swept the board, only giving up 1 game at in the losers bracket all the way up until the finals. And so they, I don't know what happened in the beginning, but obviously they came back pretty well. What I'm kind of liking, though, is a lot more faceless play has been shown. Like, just a lot more different heroes in general have been being showed off, looking at when you look at the rosters that just keep popping up. And it's been a lot better than just seeing Mirana or Batrider all the time.
Yeah, game one faceless on I can't remember who it was.
Unfortunately, Faceless kept losing up until the end, which stinks. But
well, he's such a late game hero. I don't get why they're doing a lot more Faceless. I feel like he's just way too late game to.
Well, he can be played aggressively with a supporting lineup. Use
when people have been rushing the Ags on him, and just you get a team fight every 60 seconds. It's pretty effective. Like Eternal likes to do that on Cloud9.
Yeah, you can play pretty aggressively with him, because you have a disengage or an engage with that ult.
That is true. So moving on, we'll go ahead and hit the ESL One. This is one of my favorite ones.
Still going on. It's still game 1. It's been a really interesting game I've been watching, but I'll get into it. So you've got, right now, teams that have placed: Na'Vi, Cloud9, VG Gaming, Mouse Sports, Fnatic, Alliance, and then you've got IG and EG battling out in the finals right now. Cloud9 again had just another bad showing. They faced off against Alliance, went 2-0 against them. Mouse Sports went against IG. IG won 2-1. VG Gaming lost to Fnatic 2-1. EG beat Na'Vi again 2-0. Went up against Fnatic. Fnatic lost 2-1 to EG, and then Alliance got swept by IG 2-0. Right now it's happening. Spoiler alerts if you actually want to watch it later. IG had this phenomenal push strat. It's 44 minutes in. They've taken mid-racks and every outer tower except for the tier 2 top. But then EG has pulled it out of the bag, and when we started this recording, it was like 15-13 in IG's favor. Right now, it's 15-42 in EG's favor.
Wow.
They took
What?
mid-pack. They're taking mid-packs. They're taking top racks right now as we speak. It's just been crazy.
And
There's
that's game
180
one.
turn. Yeah, 180 turn.
It's funny because I've been wanting to say things while we're in the middle of talking because it's like, but no, they just won game one unless there's an act of God. But it's one of those, EG again, it just has another very solid showing.
If they win another tournament like this, I'm just I told you, man. All my stuff's going into EG for this for the internationals.
Or Fear.
Poor Fear, yeah. But I do feel like Fear, like I said, he's been in for quite a while. I do feel like
he's still coaching. He's helping out. I mean, he has his place. I just feel bad. It has to kill him to sit back and watch.
Well, what if he's found his niche in coaching and casting, and
he likes it. He does like it, but I mean, it's one of those. Speak to like an NFL commentator or someone who play ball. And like, would you rather be young again and playing, or would you rather be sitting up here with the old guys? And probably at their age, yes, they'd probably rather be commentating. But if they could go through it all again, they might say, "Yeah, I'd rather be throwing the ball down there." Like,
oh yeah. So since I can't contain myself anymore, and we're going on to the internationals and all that, let's go over the compendium, some of the changes, and of course the big news: 10 million.
Of course, 10 million, everyone.
when it started, everyone was like, "There's no way,
No way,
no way it's gonna happen."
And
like,
suddenly,
no way we're gonna get 8.5 million, 9.5. 10.
let's go for 20, guys.
Yeah, I'll admit when they first brought out the new
Goals.
extended whatever, I did not expect it to hit 10 million. But then after what is it, 3 or 4 days in, and all of a sudden they had 2 of the things complete.
You're like, yep.
Maybe it was longer. Maybe it was like a weekend. And they had 2 of the objectives complete. I was thinking maybe it could happen. And then they started advertising on Steam. They started coming out with the legendaries. They did everything just at the right point where it started tapering off.
They would just do something to bring it back.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's ridiculous the way that they've done it, and it's almost ingenious because. Before, I think our first one that we did of Dota 2 Weekly, we were talking about how there's no way that they can do it, but also that it was more than any 3 tournaments combined. What is 10 million then?
Even more.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I've never seen anything like this.
This beats League of Legends and other tournaments combined. This is
the
superb.
winner. Yeah, I mean, the winner, each of their teammates will now be a millionaire.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's ridiculous. Even after they pay out to everybody
else.
Yeah, so it's ridiculous the amount of money that's going.
The winner gets half of the overall prize pool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they get 5 mil, so everyone gets a mil each. So that's,
Yeah, it's still just so ridiculous.
Guys, let's make our team now.
I'm still going for EG. Let's go ahead and go over some of the new stuff that's been added into the compendium real quick.
Yeah, let's see what has been added. We have the predictions for the playoffs.
Good.
They have all been added. Yep.
8 days, not 7 days, guys. 8 days to pick this.
8 days.
8 days.
7 days from when this goes up, though.
7 days for the wildcard tournament.
Yeah, 7 days for the wildcard tournament.
The playoffs are 8 days. And also, apparently, a minimum of 120 games will be played over the 4 days. So don't expect to get any sleep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be all up on it.
Those 4 days, everyone's just going to have, balls of water everywhere and, chips and just watching casually and eating.
What days do when does the tournament actually start?
I think it's on the 18th or 17th and goes to the 21st.
Yeah, oh man, I can't wait. What are some of the other things that are added now? The predictions to that? What about the favorite
hero? Yeah, that's been added. basically select your favorite hero, quote unquote. You pick some random items that you think that you usually purchase for this hero by the end of the game, and then you apparently have to win 10 games, which I have not done yet.
What all did everybody have as their hero?
I put NP. I was curious because I picked someone I wanted to because it was like a learning tool. So I figured someone I want to play a little bit better. So I just I did NP and then
Like even if a hero you know you're good with, you want to like perfect your skill with him. Yeah, that's why I got.
That's sort of what I got. Yeah.
What'd you get, Tracer?
I went Bristleback.
Nah.
Nice choice. I went with my Gondar.
Gondar.
Because if I can... Yeah, I mean, I was like looking for a hero that I want to improve in, but then I was like, well, I mean, just way to get 10 wins is to pick a hero that I'm good with and get better.
Yeah, that was my logic as well.
Yeah. I think, what did you have, Armin?
I got Bounty Hunter, aka Gondar.
Okay, yeah. I did Undying, which I don't know was the best idea. But I had no clue what they were doing, so, you know.
Yeah, you picked it when you didn't know you had to play 10
And
games.
it's 250 points, which will bring me almost up to 20.
Well, but I'll play Undying at least 10 times in the next 10 days.
Hopefully you win 10 times, though.
Undying? I think Undying's one of my highest heroes. I probably should have done more like a Wraith King or something like that, just to have more control over it.
That's why I like Bristle. I mean, Bristle just will win a game for the most part.
Same goes for Gondar. Like, you just need to have a team and you're good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things for sure, though. Personally, I think if I would have known at the beginning what was going to happen, that we needed to win 10 games, I probably would have picked, like I said, someone a lot different. Someone that was more at least in control.
you probably would have done Pudge or Clockwork.
Yeah.
My two highest win rates.
Yeah. Any other compendium changes? Any of that?
Just
New updates to the Arcana Showdown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right now.
It was so bad. NP almost made it. He almost made it, but he lost.
Nope.
The stupid Phantom Assassin.
So
Assassin
close.
got through. I want Jug. I want the Jug.
I
Invoke
think
has
I
enough sets.
I think I did Viper for the remodel work, Jug for the Arcana, and then I might have done PA for the voice work. I think that's how I did it.
I did Spectre for the voice work because
yeah,
I
I
can't
did
understand a thing she says.
I think that's kind of half the point why I liked her.
Yeah, Spectre.
Yeah, I picked PA for voice work. And, like, the stupidest thing, why Slardar and why Juggernaut? Both of them have great voice work.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with that. I mean, that whole bottom row had, like, pretty decent voice work, though.
Except Viper and Troll to a degree.
Viper. Yeah, that's true. I think I tried to get Viper.
I feel like Troll would have been a great rework on the voice. I am sick of hearing those jokes.
Troll King Bar.
Yeah.
No, King Troll.
Faceless Void and Viper are my remodel.
My remodel is, yes, Faceless Void Viper. I'm sad that Slardar didn't make it.
This work, and the Marana and Jugs for the Arcana. Though I'm really, I do think I kind of wanted to do the Invoker Arcana because I think they could really do some freaking amazing stuff since he has so many spells.
But he already has
I really
so
want to see what
much.
they do. I really want to see what they do with Juggernaut. That's why I picked it. I really do.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I
Maybe they'll
feel like
just
it's
change
gonna be
them back
something
to the original skin of the red-faced
Well,
orc.
it's basically be skinny axe with a war banner. That's it.
A lot of these skins, I mean, are just, repainted from the original overlay, And I mean, I understand, it's just 100 and something people. I'm gonna run out of ideas eventually.
Speaking of which, I just remembered, International is closing, so that means another thing is closing up. Techies.
Techies, oh yes, I can't wait.
You say that until they're all on your team and just completely don't know how to play the hero, and you're screwed.
Yeah.
I know relatively okay to play techies. You just lay
But then,
mines
a year later, the only person that picks him is the one that destroys.
Yeah.
Yes. And then everyone cries when they meet him.
Yeah.
Just like with good meepos. Unless you get instantly repicked by a lich.
I have been running into a rash of good meepos here lately.
Yeah, they've been starting to come back.
That's because of Excalibur.
That's what I'm saying, coming back.
Well, up until this last, up until the final, or till the internationals, I guess, where we won't have to worry about Excalibur. All right, guys. Well, anything else to add?
No, we've had some good Dota, and hopefully we'll have a couple more weeks of good Dota with the international coming up. And I mean,
It's gonna be nice.
Leading up to it has made me very excited because it's been some great games leading up. So,
All right. Well, as always, guys, thanks for coming, and we'll see you guys next time. Say goodbye.
cheers.
See ya.